Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So in the last video we have started our React project with Tailwind CSS and we have done all the setup for our project. Okay, so here we will start building our pages or our UI components, right? We will create the UI component for our navbar, for our home page and so on. So before moving on, please subscribe to the channel if you are new here, and if you are liking the content, please press on the like button and give a comment as a review for the video. Okay, so let's start building our UI component building. So if you see here, we have set up some routes where if you go to the code and if you go to app.tsx, so we have this nav bar which will be available globally, okay, across the whole thing. And we have the two routes currently. One is the home path and one is the about. Now we need to first design our nav bar, which we need to do. So for designing the nav bar, I would just use the Tailwind CSS. So I would just copy paste the code. It is just simply a a CSS part. So nothing logical here. So just let me copy it here. Okay. So I have copied this code here. Now you may be seeing some errors. So the errors we will resolve here. I've just copy pasted all the important classes that is required here. Okay. So the first thing is this link tag which we are getting the error here. So this link tag is basically coming from the React router. Okay. So if we say all missing imports, so it will come as a from React router. So we use rather than using the A and A tag with href, we use link tag. So the reason is to avoid the page reload when we are navigating to another URL. Okay, so that is one reason. Another, if you see here, we have a button here actually for making it responsive. Okay, so we have, so for mobile menu button, which is basically, you can say we are going to make our page responsive. So I have used this property. So basically we have to use the state. Okay, so we will create our state. So it will be is open and set is open equal to use state. Okay, and we will set it to false initial. Okay, so this is our navbar. Now let's go back to our code and see. So if you see here, we are getting our navbar here. Now what that state is doing is making our page responsive. So if I do this, you can see here we are now getting the page like this, right? Even if you scroll like this, you will have a responsive page. Okay, so that is the main idea behind those state. You using the state to manage the responsiveness of the page. So use state basically within a component if you want to manage the state of your various you want to perform the actions based on the state change of your components like buttons or like the CSS part. So for that, the state management comes in handy. Okay, so this is how our navbar is looking up. So once we have done about the navbar, now we are going to do the same for home component. Now what is required in the home component? So what we will do is in the home component we will include all the, you can say all, we will call the API from the backend and get all the books that, and we will display it here. Okay, so that is the main purpose behind the home component. But before the doing this and to call the API, let's set up the whole thing to call the API. So what I will do is I will create another folder. So I will create another folder here and I will say here types. Okay, and I will create another folder and I will name it as services. Now this types folder is required to define the types. So in the, if you go to the Spring Boot project, we have defined this book DTO object. So this book DTO object is responsible for interaction with the data that is coming from the client side, and it is passing over the that data to the service layer and vice versa, right? So we need to create this book DTO object type there also because we are using basically the TypeScript. Okay, so you have to define a type. So simply we will come to types folder. We will have something known as book DTO.ts. Okay, and we will say export type book DTO equal to, and then we can simply define types. Okay, So first will be ISBN, which will be a number, then title, which is a string, then author, description, and category. Okay, so author is a string, description a string, and category. Okay, next is price, quantity. So we have taken price as double. Okay, price as number, quantity as number, and finally book cover and book cover URL. So let me just copy this here. Now this is not this is a book cover and book cover URL are the fields which is based upon, it's kind of an optional field. Okay, it is not required actually, because we are setting those fields at the server side, okay, at the backend code, while checking that whether the file we are getting or not. So how can we make this field as optional is by using a question mark. So like this, and then string, and simply cover URL. This is also an optional. Okay, so we have defined our types. Now we need to call the APIs from it. So if you go over here and if you go over book controller, we have this book controller, which is all books. Okay, this API we have to call here. So all the API work needs to be done in this. We will create a service layer which will deal with it. So another thing, we will say book.service.ts. Now these are the practices how we normally do in how we structure our React project. Every company can restructure projects, React project according to their own way, because React is a library basically. So there are no hardcore rules on how your project structure should be. It is up to your convenience on how you want your project structure to be. Okay, so we will include a service. Now to call the API call, for the API call we have a fetch in the JavaScript which we can use, but there is a more robust library that is being used, and which is the Axios. So we will install the Axios first. So let me open a terminal window and we will say npm install Axios. Okay, and it's done. Okay, let's just restart our server maybe. Okay, that's done. Now we can easily work with the Axios. So how can we do it? So before we proceed ahead, we need to define our base URL. Okay, now if you see in the backend project, we have defined a dot where we have defined all these properties. So in the same way, in our project also we will be defining a .env file. So .env file will be a global thing. So we will say .env. Okay, here we will define our backend URL, and it will be http local host 8080 /API /v1, and let me check on /books, or maybe just we can append this one only. Okay, because this is actually the base URL. The /API /v1 can be different for all other controllers if we have more controllers, so will not use that. Now to use this environment variable within the Vite project of React, there is a standard on how to do it. Okay, so if you go to Vite React environment variables, search here. So see here they tell about how we can use the environment variables. So there are some rules. Okay, so basically we have to prefix our environment variables using this Vite thing. Okay, so let's do this first and using in our backend API, and then this is the way how we get the environmental variables. So let's import this environment variable here, base URL. So our base URL will be import dot meta dot env dot env dot. We have to copy this actually. So just copy it as it is not giving the suggestion backend URL. Okay, so this we have got here. Okay, now we are going to export const, and we are going to create simple functions which is responsible for calling the APIs. So we will first say get all books. Okay, sorry, and in getting those books, what we are going to do is we are going to use the Axios here basically. So let's first import the Axios, import Axios from Axios, and then we will say return Axios dot get, because it is a get mapping. Okay, it is a get type of request. Now we have to pass the base URL. So we will pass the base URL here, append API /v1/books. It is book or books, let me check, books, and then we have to add all books. Okay, now if you see here, this get gives a promise, okay, and then we can apply then and catch on that promise while calling this function. Okay, so this is how we set up our get all books, and in the same way we will write the functions for these all the endpoints. Okay, so now come to the home part, because in the home component we are going to call these things. Right now what we actually want is, if you see, here is our home page, as you can see. Okay, now on this home page, whenever we come to home page, we just want that whenever this component loads, the data should get populated and we should get a list of all the books. Okay, so that is our main purpose here, and that's exactly what we are going to do. So for that, when we want that React should load all the data on the load of the component, so we have a special hook which is known as use effect. Okay, and we need to use this hook. So basically it takes an callback function, and we have to pass our logic here. Okay, now logic here will be simply to call the this, if you see here, this book service. Okay, this method get all books. So we will just say get all books dot as a method dot then. Okay, so it returns a promise. Okay, and then in it will get some response. If the API call is completely good, then we will get a response. So for now we will just console log the response. So we will say response as response. Okay, and there can be another instance where we can get error. So we say catch. So we pass error and we simply say console log error equal to error. Okay, sorry, my bad, error equal to error. Okay, so this is what we are trying to fetch. So now let's see whether we are getting any kind of response or not. So let's go here and let's go over here. Let's go to console, and we are getting an error. So what this access error is basically saying is, if you see here, it is a course error. So whenever you are trying to access the resources from another URL and you're calling some API, so it should not be blocked by the course. Okay, so to avoid this, we just have to make it annotation cross origin. Okay, and then restart our application. So our application is restarted, and now if we load the page, and you can see we are getting the response. Okay, so and in the response, if you see, the actual data is coming in the data property. Okay, so basically we want this data thing. Now what we will do is we'll go here and we will print response.data. Okay, and we will save it, and let's see what we get. So now in the response we are getting, or let's remove this and let's call again. So we are getting the list of all the books that we want to display in the home page. So the next important thing remains is we have to display the books. Okay, so let's close it, and we need to create a UI for that. So let's create a UI for it. Now before we create a UI, we need to store the response at some place so that we can iterate over our components or our UI part, and then we can display it. Okay, so to store in something, so storing the book data is basically about the state management thing. So again we will use a use state thing. So we will have books and set books, and we will use state, and it will be of type array, and we will need to define the type. So it will be of type book DTO. Okay, book DTO array. Okay, and when we are getting the book, we will just set books. We will call the set books function from here, and we will write response.data, because this is actually the list of books that we are getting. Okay, so initially books was having no data, but after calling this function, the books will have the list of all the books that we're getting from the backend application. Now we just need to iterate over these books in a component, and we can display it. So exactly how can we do is, I'll show you. Okay, so how we will write or iterate in the component. Now here in the JSX, we need to write a JavaScript code. To write a JavaScript code, we use curly brackets here. Then we say books dot map. We get each book object, and we simply, what we do is we create a div component. Within it, we create a h1 component and simply write book dot says title. Okay, and we save it. Now if you see it, we are getting this thing. So it is as easy as it seems, right? But now if you go over here, you can see that there is a lots of database calling happening over. So the reason is, how are we going to handle this thing? So to handle this thing, so we need to pass basically a dependency array over here, for in case we have a dependency array. Otherwise this will just continue. If you see here, now it has stopped. So here we have written JavaScript code and we are displaying these books. Okay, so if you refresh over again, we are seeing all the things. But here if you see in the console, you are getting one error which is saying each child in a list should have a unique key prop. Now the reason behind this error is, every object that you are iterating over here should be uniquely identifiable, so that any changes you make to the React component, that particular object or that particular component which is being changed will only be that only particular will be targeted. Okay, not the whole page, or not the all the components will not be targeted. So that is the reason why we need to pass key, and key should be unique. So in the books, the unique thing is ISBN number. So if we pass here and if we do again, you see we are getting all the things, but no error is there. Now we want to beautify it. So I will just copy paste the UI part. So you can just copy paste all those things. Okay, I have added few CSS classes, few divs, so to style it. Now if I save it, so you can see it is coming in this way, which it seems much better, right? So that's how we are displaying it. Now there is a add book thing, and there is, if you see, there is edit button, there is delete button. So all we have to make it functional, which we are going to do in the next video. But till here, I hope you have understood that how we are going to do it. Okay, so let me just revise it for you. So we did our navbar thing. Okay, we made navbar which was global, and we made it fully responsive. So to make it fully responsive, we are using the state management, the local state management using use state. Okay, so based on this, the responsiveness on the smaller strings also helps. Next, we created a type, a book detail type. So this type is the type in which we have to send the data to the backend as it is expecting. If you see over add also, then it is expecting in a string. We'll see how we are going to do that, but basically you need these types. Okay, and then we have created a book service, and we have configured .env file. So .env file, we have wrote our backend URL using the prefix wait. So whenever you are working with the wait React project, make sure all your environmental variables are prefixed with wait underscore. Okay, and then we imported this variable. Then we wrote a function where we have returned, where we have wrote the logic for calling the API. This will give us the promise, and we have returned that promise. And in the home component, since on the load of the home component we want to display all the list of the books, so we have used this use effect, which is useful here. And we have called the get all books method from the book service. We have used then and catch syntax. Then means if the response you are getting has no error, then you will get certain response, and in that response the actual data will come in the data part, the data property of the response. And in the catch we have handled the error. Now these two things we have wrote because we want to display the book in our page. Okay, on our home page. So we need to store that information that we are getting from the backend in some variable. So we use these variables, and we are using use state so that React can handle those state management things and all those changes in the variable. Okay, we don't have to manually handle it. And then we use this JavaScript block inside the JSX code and just wrote displayed the components. Okay, that's all we have done. And this key we have written, okay, which is basically an identifier for each object to identify that object uniquely. Okay, uniquely by the React. So that is basically what we have done. Now the next part will be to create or to design the add component, edit component, and to see how deletion can be done. Okay, so this is the stage at which what we have reached. So in the next one we'll try to complete add, delete, and edit. Okay, so that's all for this video. If you are liking it, please subscribe to the channel and press the like button. I will see you in the next one. Till then, bye bye.